Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited you're here because today's video is part of the Marathon Society. We'll be creating the Alice wallet by Lacus Design. Thank you so much to Lacus Design for allowing us to showcase the Alice wallet. The Alice wallet comes in two sizes. We have a small and then we have a large. And you can customize this to be a crossbody if you'd like, or you can have a wristlet like I did on this one. This is the small wallet. You have the flap on the front. This is the back. So when you open this up, you have a card slot here. There is a zippered pocket, and then the back is another slip pocket. And then we have the big one. I have a full tutorial on this bag here. If you'd like to view it, I'll go ahead and link the video down below, and I'll try to remember to post it in the eye up in the corner. Again, this is the large. So when you open this up, you have two card slots here, and then you've got your big zippered pocket on the inside. And then you've got your slip pocket on the other side. And it closes by magnets. And then we have the back, and I made this one into a wristlet strap here. So in today's video, we will be making the size small. I really love the size of this one. I've actually been carrying this one for quite some time now. I just love the size and it fits everything that I need. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you'll join everyone else today for the Marathon Society. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and go over the pieces. We've got two main exterior pieces. This is called, I think it's called Luxe Nylon. It's from Wonderground Fabrics. And then you've got two pieces for your main lining. This is water resistant canvas. This is also from Wonderground Fabrics. And then you'll need, this is for your flap. So my white material here is a directional print. So if you have a directional print, you want to make sure to have two pieces for this, and we'll sew them together to make one flap for the exterior. And then this is the interior. Again, this is Luxe Nylon. I have interfaced this with some fleece, fusible fleece, and I've also went ahead and used the pattern piece for my snap placement here. So you definitely want to make sure to have the pattern piece for your snap placement and also on your pocket. And then this is going to be the front pocket, and again, I've already made the mark or the hole for the magnetic snap, and you'll need two pieces for your zipper, the zipper panel here. So these are your zipper ends. You'll need two of those. You'll need a zipper with a zipper pull. I'm using number 5 zipper. And you can use a number 3 if you prefer, but I will be using number 5. And then I've got riveted magnetic snaps that I'll be using. So I'll be using a rivet press to insert my snaps. And then you'll just need all your tools. And that's everything for the Alice wallet. The first step we're going to do is we're going to attach the female magnetic snap end to our front pocket. This will be placed on the front of your pocket, and you'll also want to go ahead and grab the pattern piece for your placement. I've got a piece of fusible fleece that I'm going to place down here, and then I'll go ahead and grab my female end here, and you want to place the female end so that it is on the exterior of the right side of your fabric. So I know it's probably hard to see, but you want the female end to be facing up on the exterior of your pocket. So I'll go ahead and place the rivet here, and I'll go ahead to the rivet press and set that rivet. All right, so the female magnetic snap end has been placed on the front here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fold this in half so that they're right sides together. I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of clips, and then we will go ahead and sew the bottom edge at the seam allowance given in the pattern. And then we'll come back and we'll flip this so it's right sides out and top stitch the top edge. Okay, I trimmed the corners here. It does not say to do that in the pattern, but I just went ahead and did it. And then we're going to go ahead and flip this so that it's right sides out, so just be careful. Flatten it out, roll the seams. If you'd like to iron your material, you can, but I'm just rolling the seams and getting them as flat as possible. And holding it down with a couple clips. All right, we're gonna go to the machine and we're gonna top stitch this top edge at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then we will attach it to one of our main exterior panels. All right, that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my exterior main pieces. You just need one for right now. There's a measurement in the pattern that you will mark right above your cutouts here, and we will place it so that it is, you want your magnetic snap to be right side up. Okay, and we're going to attach this at the seam allowance or at the measurement given in the pattern, and then we'll go ahead and sew along the right edge, down the bottom edge, and then up the left edge at the seam allowance given in the pattern. So let's go ahead and get our measurement for your pocket and sew this down. All right, that's really cute. There's our first slip pocket here. I'm gonna go ahead and mark the center of this really quick. I forgot to do that. I'm also gonna go ahead and mark the center on my other pieces. All right, so this is completed for now. I'm gonna go ahead and set this to the side, and I'm gonna grab the 2 pieces for my flap. Again, my pieces are directional, so I need to place them so that they are one direction. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lay it so that the directions are opposite of each other. So like this, and I will lay it right side down, and I'll go ahead and clip this top edge up here, and then I will sew it at the seam allowance given in the pattern. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and open this up. Open our seam. You can iron this if you'd like, but I'm going to go ahead and just use my fingers and press, and I'm going to go ahead and top stitch along both sides of my seam here. All right, that looks pretty good. We've got this top stitched now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to attach the male magnetic snap to our other flap part, which is going to be the lining piece. And like I've said, I already have the mark here. I've already punched a hole and everything. I'm not going to add any extra stability to this magnetic snap just because I've already interfaced this with the fusible fleece. I think it will be fine. I will go ahead and grab the male snap here, and you want to have the male end on the exterior, okay, of the flap. So you don't want the male end being on the wrong side, and you want the rivet or the back of your magnetic snap to be on the wrong side. So this should be right side up with the right side of your male magnetic snap. So I'm going to go to the rivet press and go ahead and attach this real quick. All right, so that's been done. So you've got the curved edge of your stabilizer. It's important that you do have the stabilizer because this is what's going to give us those rounded edges once we finish the flap. All right, so now what we're going to do is take our pieces and we're going to lay these so that they are right sides together. And I'm going to go ahead and clip along the right and left edges and the bottom edge. I will leave the top open. So grab some clips and I will start clipping along all three edges. It's okay if the flap, the interior or exterior pieces are a little longer because we're going to trim this down anyways, so don't worry about that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sew this together, and you kind of want to just stay right along your stabilizer here. Don't go on your stabilizer, but just right outside of that stabilizer, and go ahead and sew around all three edges, and remember to leave the top open so that we can pull this through and make it so that it's right sides out. So let's get this sewn together. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my pinking shears here, and I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna trim the seam allowance off by about half, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and carefully turn this so that it's right sides out. Be careful not to tear any stitches. I'm gonna grab my turning tool here, and I'm gonna use this thicker rounded edge to push my pieces out. I'm just kind of rolling my seams here. I will take some clips and clip my edges together so that they are nice and flat. My rounded edges look pretty good. All right, so now we're going to go to the machine and we're going to go ahead and top stitch all sides, including the top, at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, so we've got our flap top stitched. That looks really good. I love it. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and grab our other main exterior panel. And you want to make sure that you mark the center on the bottom and you mark the center on the top of your flap here. Just cut a little snip here. And then what we're going to do is you're going to take the straight edge of your flap and lay it so that your center marks down at the bottom match up. You want to make sure to have your exterior right side up, and then your flap will be flap right side up. So not the lining, so your lining will be right against the right side of your exterior fabric. So we'll go ahead and we'll clip the bottom. So next what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple of marks. There are 2 marks that we're going to make on each side of the flap. That'll be on the main panel. This is where we will begin and end our stitching because we're not going to stitch it all the way to the top. So make sure you check out the pattern and go ahead and make your marks. They're going to be up here towards the top of the exterior. And then we'll go ahead and sew this down. So you'll sew it from that mark and you'll come down and go ahead and sew across the bottom, and then you'll come up and stop at the mark. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so I have made my marks with an air erasing marker on the top of my flap. I'm going to go ahead and sew this down real quick before I lose those marks, because the air erasing mark disappears rather quickly. So let's go ahead and sew this down. All right, so now we've just created the slip pocket for the back. All right, we're gonna go ahead and set this to the side, and we're gonna work on our zipper. So you'll wanna go ahead and grab your zipper and make sure that zipper pull is attached, because if you add your zipper ends without the zipper pull, that's never a fun time. I have done that so many times, more than I want to admit. So make sure you've got your zipper pull attached. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold our material in half. All right. If you have something that you'd like to iron, you can do that if you want to, but we're just gonna go ahead and basically make a hot dog bun. So we will go ahead and take those raw edges and fold them to that center mark. You can use a marking tool if you'd prefer, but I'm just meeting the line. I can see the center, and then we'll fold it in half like this, so it's like a hot dog bun. Now you'll go ahead and insert that zipper end into your zipper tabs, and I'm going to go ahead and use some clips for this, and then we will go to the machine and we will sew this on. So we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side. You could sew the edges of your zipper down before attaching the zipper tabs if you'd like. I didn't want to do that, so I just wanted to mention that in case you do want to do that, you can. So I'm going to go ahead to the machine and I will sew down the zipper ends onto our zipper real quick. And I'm sewing it down on the edge that's closest to the zipper. Make sure you're catching the top and the bottom. And I've barely caught the bottom on here, so I will go ahead and just make another row of stitching, or actually I think I'm gonna remove my stitches real quick. I am not liking the way that looks. It actually ended up skipping a stitch here, so I might need to clean off my needle. That's just something that happens when you're using double-sided tape. Sometimes it gets sticky and it starts to cause skipped stitches. So I'll go ahead and take care of that real quick. All right, you can take some scissors and you can go ahead and trim off those edges from your zipper tabs. All right, so your zipper is now completed. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the front exterior panel. This is gonna be the one with the pocket right here. I am going to mark my centers on my zipper here so that we can make sure to center the zipper into place. So I'm just grabbing an air erasing marking tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and make that mark. There we go. We are going to go ahead and lay your exterior with the pocket right side up. We'll take your zipper and we're going to lay it so that it's right side down. Now, you want to pay attention to how you want your zipper. Do you want it to open, you know, on this side, or do you want it to open on the opposite side? So make sure you pay attention to the direction that you want your zipper. I want it to open over here from left to right, excuse me. So I'll go ahead and lay it right sides together, matching that center, and I'll go ahead and clip the top. And we're gonna go ahead and we'll baste the zipper into place. When you're basting your zipper, make sure that you're moving your zipper pull out of the way. as you sew. All right, and then we're going to baste this on from zipper end to zipper end. All right, so now we'll go ahead and grab one of our lining panels, and we're going to place this so that it is right sides down. Okay, so our zipper is now sandwiched and our exterior and our lining are now right sides together. So I'll go ahead and clip the top, and you'll want to sew this together at the seam allowance given in the pattern. And again, make sure you're moving that zipper pull out of the way. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and separate our lining and then our exterior. And we're going to go ahead and pull this down. I'm going to just finger press my material here. We're going to go ahead and top stitch right along that top edge of the exterior panel right here with the lining out of the way. So keep your lining up, and you will be top stitching along the zipper. Okay, so that seam is behind the top of your exterior. All right, so this is what you should have right now. We've got the top stitch right here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and fold down my lining, and since I'm using water resistant canvas, it just presses very nicely. So this is what it's looking like right now. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my other lining piece and my other exterior here. Now, the flap will probably be in your way, so you probably want to fold it down so it's out of the way. I'm just going to fold it pretty much right there where we started and stopped sewing. So I'll go ahead and just clip this together down at the bottom like that. So now we are going to go ahead and place this so it's right sides together. I know this looks kind of funny since we've just folded our flap down, but you just basically want to sew it down so that the back of the flap is lying against the front of your exterior here. And I need to mark my center. We're going to go ahead and place it so that they're right sides together. You want to line up your center marks down at the top here and go ahead and clip this together, and then we'll baste this in place. And again, make sure you're moving your zipper pull out of the way. There we go, that looks pretty good. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flip it so that my lining is right side up, and mark my center real quick. And we're going to lay this so it's right sides down. Again, we're going to match up the centers here. This should line up on the sides though, but I do like to just match up my center marks. And we'll go ahead and clip the top, and we'll go ahead and sew this down at the seam allowance given in the pattern. All right, so we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We want to flip over the exterior, and our lining should be on the other side. And we will go ahead and top stitch along the seam. The zipper will be behind the seam of your exterior, and then your lining is going to be on the opposite side. So let's top stitch this down. I'm going to take my lining and just fold it so that they are now wrong sides together. And this is what we've got right now. That's really cute. So if you fold it over, you have your flap. Isn't that cute? I know it doesn't look right because it's not right, but here we are. It looks really good. So this is what it looks like, our exteriors, and then our lining here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sew this like you would a pouch. You're going to place your exterior together. I like to have the zipper tabs go in towards my lining. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but the zipper tabs, I fold them in side of the lining, and then I'll match up my seams here and clip it together right there at that seam. And then I'm going to go to the other side. And again, I'm taking that zipper tab and folding it so that it's inside towards the lining. All right. And go ahead and start clipping our edges together. We will be leaving an opening at the bottom of our lining because this is where we're going to pull this through. You want to be careful of your flap. We don't want to sew that down, so I am going to push my flap in towards the zipper. Don't be afraid to just get in there and smush it. It will be okay. We can iron it after. You just don't want to sew that down. I'm kind of taking it a little bit into my lining here. All right. Okay, so now we can continue clipping around all our edges. And again, an opening will be left at the bottom of your lining. That'll be a really good place to put a woven label if you'd like, or a fun woven tag. I should grab one. I always forget to use them. I like to put two clips together. This reminds me to leave that opening here. And there is a measurement if you want to use the measurement for the opening, but I'm just going to sew just a little bit on each side here. All right, so when you are sewing around this whole perimeter here, you want to make sure that you are not sewing through those zipper tabs. You want to make sure to sew around the zipper tabs and pay attention to your seam allowance, because you will be increasing the seam allowance once you get to your lining, okay? And just pay attention to the zipper tab area. And then don't forget, leave that open here. So let's go ahead and sew this together. I forgot, I am gonna grab a woven label for mine. I got them from Mormino. All right, here we go. Now it's time to box the corners. I'm just gonna try to push in as best as I can and match up those seams that are down here. You can have them butterflied open if you prefer, or you can have them facing opposite directions. That is what I will be doing. Since the seam is kind of thick, it's already wanting to fold over. So I'm just gonna let it do, what it wants to do. It's best if you can open this as wide as you can to get the best boxed corner. I'm gonna grab some clips here. And clip this down. I do like to clip along the sides here. All right, and then we'll go ahead and do the other side. So if I can just reach in here and try to open it as wide as I can. And you want to have both sides of your boxed corners to go in the same direction. That one just went down very nicely. And I'll go ahead and sew this down real quick at the seam allowance given in the pattern. Now I will be sewing 2 rows of stitching along here just because I don't want the threads to kind of show here. And sometimes that happens and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and sew down these corners at the seam allowance given in the pattern. Make sure you're not sewing over your flap. Make sure that's out of the way too. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with our box corners on our lining side. Again, I'm just matching those seams and I'm placing the seams in opposite direction. And make sure you have the other side going the same direction. All right, let's go ahead to the machine and sew down the corners of our lining. All right, so you can trim down your box corners if you'd like. I do like to do that with the lining just so we don't have that bulkiness in there, and my exterior looks fine, so I'm not worried about trimming that down. So this is what you should have now. You've got boxed corners on your exterior, well, on the wrong side, but the exterior, and then your lining. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're going to flip this so that it is right sides out. So just be careful. Start with the thing that is furthest away, so that would be the bottom. And just be careful, take your time. You don't want to break any stitches. And this is pretty thick for me, so this is probably going to take me a minute. Well, how stinking cute is this little thing? Oh my goodness. That is so cute. I was unsure about the purple. I thought maybe it's too much purple, but I like it. I like the color purple, so it doesn't bother me. I am going to make sure I'm happy with the way my box corners look, make sure I can't see any stitching. And if I'm happy with it, I'll go ahead and close up my lining. All right, I think I'm fine with the way everything's looking, so I am going to go ahead and close up my lining here, and I'm going to place a little woven label in here and center it as best as I can. I'll add some clips and I'll go ahead and sew this down just at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance here. And we'll go ahead and push our lining inside. Make sure you push in those corners. I love the print. It's really pretty. The back is really pretty. I love the little magnetic snap and this little card slot and your pocket here. And then of course your back slip pocket. This is just the perfect little tiny wallet if you're one who doesn't carry a lot of items. I'm one of those people. I do not carry a huge wallet or a big purse. I prefer small, especially after years of carrying baby bags. Now small items is all I really want to carry with me. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you'll join the rest of the marathon today as they continue sewing the Alice wristlet or crossbody or wallet, whatever they decide to do. It'll be a fun day, and everyone is so creative and they all make beautiful things. So I hope you'll join everyone and support the Marathon Society and also Lacus Design. So we'll make sure to have the link to this pattern down in the description. And I hope you'll share your version of your Alice with the Marathon Society. All right, guys, thank you again for joining me, and we will see you in the next video. Bye now.